Tonight, the Murano Campus Center is hosting the 3rd annual Super Smash Bros. Tournament. Oswego Now reporter Matthew Rivenberg has the details on the competition.
And Catherine Middleton, Princess of Wales, reveals her cancer diagnosis, what she had to say to the public about her time out of the spotlight.
Plus, it's been all over social media, what one SUNY Oswego student says happened to him at Cooper Fitness Center over spring break.
This is Oswego Now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Burrows.
And I'm Clarissa Karki.
Concerning allegations are emerging on the SUNY Oswego campus, where a student leader found him. Excuse me. We're going to throw it to meteorologist Aurora Fitzgerald at the weather wall. Aurora, what do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. So we've had a lot of snow going on right now. Taking a look outside right now, temperature's 24 degrees. We are seeing some flurries, but we just had the first day of spring. What is going on here? I will have my full forecast coming right up for you guys.
Now we have Matthew Rivenberg in the Murano Campus Center. Matthew?
Good afternoon, Brian and Clarissa. As you can see behind me, Campus Rec is setting up for the tournament that will begin shortly, and auxiliary services will be providing refreshments. This is the 3rd year of the Super Smash Bros. Tournament. One thing different this year is the location of the event, and Pano Bakirtsis says with the change of location, he hopes more people will attend.
Thanks, Matthew. Coming up after the break, an Oswego staple has opened for the season. What keeps patrons coming back?
I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Join us for your total eclipse coverage, live beginning 2:30 Eastern on April 8th, only on Oswego Now, your streaming news leader. Find us on YouTube or at oswegonow.net.
Welcome back to Oswego Now. I'm your meteorologist, Aurora Fitzgerald. Now, taking a look at current conditions outside right now. Again, we are seeing some flurries. Very cold, uncomfortably cold. 24 degrees. It feels like 17. So again, very, very cold. The wind isn't that bad though. But again, it's still going to be cold. Remember to layer up when you go outside. Dew point is at 15 degrees. Humidity is at 54. Even though it's cold, the humidity is still around, surprisingly. So, evening planner, if you are heading out tonight, we do have some watches and warnings and advisories for winter weather. I will have that coming up later in my forecast. 6 o'clock, snowy, 24 degrees. The temperature is pretty much going to stay in the low 20s tonight. But again, the real feel is going to be extremely cold. Snow is going to last through tonight into tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at current temperatures around the state, Oswego 24. Again, it's pretty much all the same around the state. Pulaski 24, Central Square 24, Rome 25, So nothing too much. So we have snowfall accumulation. These are the places where you're going to see a lot of snowfall. However, with some of the snowfall, we do see ice accumulation 1/10 of an inch or less possible. So, driving tips, if it's snowy outside and you know that there's ice, drive as if you are driving on ice, because even though you can't see it, it is probably there with these temperatures. So Oswego, Fulton, this area right here, we're going to see 4 to 6 inches, not too much, but there's always room for more snow. Again, down here is a little less, but then as you go up to Clayton and Watertown, we are going to expect more snow in those areas. Now, weather watches and advisories and warnings, all that jazz. In the pink, we have a winter storm warning. In the purple, we have a winter weather advisory. Now, these things are very important to keep note of, because with all this winter weather going on, again, driving, if you are heading out anywhere, it's a Friday night, be very, very careful. Make sure you have a snow brush, any survival kits that you may need. Layer up those clothes. Very, very important. Now, some of this stuff is going to be lake effect. Lake effect is when everything accumulates over the lake and then it moves usually towards us, but sometimes we don't see anything, and usually it goes to the east part where all the pink stuff is. But this time, we are seeing a bunch of stuff. Even though spring was just a few days ago, unfortunately, Mother Nature is having some trouble deciding. But that's okay. Winter driving advice. Each year, weather-related crashes cause more than 6,000 deaths and 480,000 injuries. If outside temperature is near freezing, drive like you are on ice, because you might be. Again, black ice is also very prominent during these times. Black ice you are never going to see because it's on the asphalt part of the ground. It might seem shiny, and if you see that shininess, you have to drive very, very carefully. I suggest watching YouTube videos for skidding. Obviously, when you are not in the car, taking a look at our 5-day forecast. Again, snow today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to get a little bit of a break. We see this 52 degrees right here by Tuesday. So hopefully we're going to get a little bit of that break. Wednesday, we are going to see a little shower. So hopefully these warm temperatures are going to stay. That is all for my full forecast. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Aurora. Some unseasonal weather out there today, but concerning allegations are emerging on the SUNY Oswego campus, where a student leader found himself at the center of a disturbing incident.
Oswego Now reporter Melina Williams is live in the studio with us. Melina?
Thanks, Clarissa. Marquise O'Neill says that he was harassed and physically assaulted by multiple women at the Cooper Fitness Center, including SUNY Oswego's professor and staff member. I met with Marquise. Here's this story. On March 11th, around 1:05 p.m., SUNY Oswego student Marquise O'Neill, a well-known figure on campus and vice president of the Digital and Music Association, says he was subject to harassment and physical assault by multiple women, including gym class instructor Jenny Grass. According to O'Neill, it all began when he says he was approached by Grass during her class and was denied the opportunity to jump rope while her session was in progress.
You could say anything to me or do anything verbal, I'm just ignore you. But I was physically touched, so that's when they started to actually get a reaction out of me. Why are you touching me?
According to O'Neill, he returned to jumping rope after confirming with the front desk that the session has ended. However, he says he was again confronted by Grass and subsequently surrounded and hit by a rolled-up mat by Professor Preti Tripathi and other staff members and professors.
If you're a professor, you should know multiple ways to get a student's attention without physically touching them.
O'Neill says this kind of situation is something he has dealt with before.
Why I say I'm numb to it, because it's something I'm used to. It's not something I haven't dealt with before.
Oswego Now reached out to Professor Jenny Grass for comment on the incident, but she did not get back to us. Professor Preti Tripathi, also involved in the incident, stated, "Unfortunately, I am unable to comment on the matter."
I guess what I hope from this situation is that she learned from her mistakes. Every action comes with a consequence, good or bad.
O'Neill says this incident does not reflect negatively on SUNY Oswego as a whole, but rather sheds light on internal campus issues that he says need to be addressed.
I would want to say this is it's nothing wrong with getting your voice heard and talking to people and reaching out, and I don't feel like anyone should be scared to do that. Especially.
I'm here in the hallway where the recorded incident took place. Here behind me are two cameras. Now we wonder what exactly happened.
And what kind of made me post it, I just wanted my voice to be heard. I feel like I can't do nothing in that moment because guaranteed if it was like vice versa, if the roles were reversed, I'm being handcuffed.
We've reached out to campus officials for comment in an email response that they're told, quote, confidential response, personal issues, and are not at liberty to comment. Oswego Now will continue with the follow the story closely and provide updates as more become available.
Thanks, Melina. Not even the cold weather could keep customers away from a fan-favorite seasonal restaurant.
Oswego Now reporter Thomas Caffarella was at the Rudy's for their 78th opening this week, where he learned that there's more that brings people to Rudy's than the food.
Wind, waves, and ice. Along Lake Ontario in March, it's expected. But for manager of Rudy's, Douglas Appleman, it's his favorite time of the year.
Always nice to see all the customers come back. Same friendly faces we've seen for years.
Fish, fries, and hot sauce. Rudy's is open for the season, bringing a plethora of food options. For Oswego native Jody Del Bracco, it's a meeting place for lifelong friendships back in the Oswego area from all over the country.
I came to see my friend Kim, who's up here from Florida, and just to say hello to her and, again, get our first lunch of the year.
Kim Shepard, who went to high school with Del Bracco, now lives in Florida for more than 30 years. She normally heads up north in the summer, but got an early head start at Rudy's this year because of family-related issues.
My friends are here with me today to kind of cheer me up and enjoy a little bit of comfort food.
And while they chatted about life events and memories, sitting across from them, 83-year-old Wendell Blanchard has special memories at Rudy's, not with food, but romance with his wife.
After hours, we would be out in the parking lot and we would make out, so there you go.
Aside from love, Blanchard remembers the hospitality of the original owner, Rudy, a tradition that Appleman wishes to keep alive.
I enjoy spending time with them and talking to them about life in general, food, and always giving them something that they like.
Rudy's, a meeting spot for old friendships and a place where memories were and continue to be made until the end of summer. Thomas Caffarella, Oswego Now.
One of the problems Rudy's faces each year is staffing issues, but with the combination of new and returning employees this year, Appleman doesn't expect that being an issue.
In national news, the search for a missing college student has come to an end. The body of 22-year-old Riley Strain was pulled from the Cumberland River in West Nashville. That's about 8 miles away from where the University of Missouri student was last seen. He vanished 2 weeks ago after he was kicked out of a bar in downtown Nashville. Authorities said no trauma was found that would indicate foul play.
In international news, Catherine Middleton, the Princess of Wales, recently announced that she has been diagnosed with abdominal cancer. The news comes 2 months after she had temporarily stepped away from the public life following what Kensington Palace said at the time was surgery for non-cancerous abdominal condition. Princess Kate says this diagnosis was a huge shock and she is now undergoing treatment.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous.
The announcement comes as a major blow for the British monarchy, as King Charles III is also currently undergoing treatment for an unspecified cancer. Moving on, the United Nations Security Council has once again failed to pass a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The United States drafted resolution calls for a sustained ceasefire along with the release of all remaining hostages held by Hamas since October 7th. The resolution failed as China and Russia vetoed against it in the Security Council. 11 votes were in favor of the resolution, with 1 abstention from Guyana.
Coming up next, the Oswego men's lacrosse continued its win streak yesterday, and women's lacrosse dominated in a SUNYAC matchup today.
And I spoke with Wells Liscombe, a student filmmaker, about his upcoming film premiere on the Sterling Nature Center. Tell us about what your film is about and why Sterling Center is so important for the community.
Yeah, well, thank you. And Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Join us for your total eclipse coverage, live beginning 2:30 Eastern on April 8th, only on Oswego Now, your streaming news leader. Find us on YouTube or at oswegonow.net.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
A student faculty-led film is set to debut at the Murano Campus Center Auditorium on Wednesday, March 27th at 5:30 p.m. Sterling Nature Center, A Living History, tells the story of how the 1,400-acre nature preserve 10 miles west of SUNY Oswego was created. Our Clarissa Karki sat down with one of the student filmmakers, Wells Lipscomb, about the film.
Hi, Wells. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your upcoming film premiere of Sterling Nature Center, A Living History. Tell us about what your film is about and why Sterling Center is so important for the community.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, and it's really a beautiful area, and they are doing some renovations over at the center and building a great new main building. And the film is just about what the Conservation Center has to offer and the wildlife and just the beautiful area that it is. You know, there are just excellent shots of all of the fauna and wildlife that there is to offer there, and
that's wonderful. Yeah. What do you hope the viewers will get from this film?
Well, I hope they explore the conservation area as it evolves, because I think that's mainly what it aims to do. I think it's I hope that it encourages students to go outside more, because I would say that's very important. And very quickly, tell us about your involvement and your experience working as a student filmmaker. It's so much fun. I will say, working with other students on a project like this, just tinkering with the craft of filmmaking, it's a great experience, and it was a great thing to get my foot in the door of filmmaking, the world of it.
Wonderful, and I wish you the very best of luck for this premiere. And remember, the film premieres on Wednesday, March 27 at 5:30 p.m. in the Murano Campus Center for those of you who want to watch it. Thank you so much, and back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Clarissa. After being confirmed by the SUNY Oswego Student Association Senate this week, Aiden Wilson will be the next SA president. Wilson won the office with 57% of the vote. This is his first time running for the office.
Wilson is currently the Director of Finance for SA, as well as being involved in other campus organizations such as ResLife and Admissions. In an interview earlier this week, Wilson said that he wants to push students' engagement in clubs as one of his top priorities when he takes the office this fall.
When we come back, the Ontario Centre for Performing Arts is starting a new series for Women's History Month.
And SUNY Oswego's Judo Club is giving members a skill they will never forget. Learn more about it during my sports report right after the break.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Join us for your total eclipse coverage, live beginning 2:30 Eastern on April 8th, only on Oswego Now, your streaming news leader. Find us on YouTube or at oswegonow.net.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Sports Now. I'm Jolie Santiago with your sports report. You know spring is here and the sports are too, but it did not seem like it when men's lacrosse was postponed due to snow. The highly anticipated men's contest was moved to yesterday and the Lakers came out hot. Lakers beat the Utica Pioneers 13-4. Three Lakers had 3 hat tricks. Matt Brodman, Leon Sexton, and Connor Aspinall all contributed to the offensive domination. Final score shot count consisted of Pioneers 27 and Lakers 49. The Lakers and Brockport Golden Eagles will go head-to-head in their first SUNYAC matchup of their seasons this Monday at 4 p.m. in Oswego. Speaking of SUNYAC matchups, women's lacrosse began conference play today. Lakers have played 7 non-conference games, including against Nazareth and St. John Fisher. Coach Britt Howard says the team has seen the right competition and hopes to execute going forward. Lakers and Potsdam Bears faced off today during that winter storm warning. Oswego took the win 20-3. A lot of Lakers that contributed to that. Now onto the Sandlot. Oswego baseball is in full swing for the 2024 season. Lakers have traveled up and down the East Coast to Maryland, South Carolina, all of them for their out-of-conference games. And will finally have a home game on April 2nd. Captain says he really enjoys playing with his teammates.
I think everyone as a whole is just pretty much really good friends, and it's just like going to hang out with your friends every day and just going to mess around with all your buddies. But obviously we're all working towards a common goal, which is really cool.
Now the Lakers look to take on Hamilton Continentals for a doubleheader on Sunday in Clinton, New York. Now these two last met a year ago in Florida during a close 11-game inning. Oswego walked it off with a bases-loaded single to left field by Julian Drew. And finally, there's one athlete that took his last arm raise of his college career, Charlie Grigas. Grigas just earned his 3rd All-American at the NCAA Championship in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Unlike in other sports, he had to place for the All-American status. Grigas has been wrestling since he was 5 years old and now has to think about life after.
Getting past that void was kind of recognizing that I'm going to need to kind of fill it with something else. I think I'm always going to want to be a competitor at heart and competing at things. So I'll probably have to find something else to compete at, or maybe coach or do something.
Yeah, I'm sure the Oswego faithful would love to see him back in the gym. Now, the SUNY Oswego Judo Club holds an opportunity for students to find more than just physical strength. Oswego Now's Megan Gagno has the story.
Need to let off some steam? Boost your energy?
The SUNY Oswego Judo Club here on campus is far more than just a place to learn self-defense techniques. For many of the members, it's a place where they could call home and also challenge themselves both mentally and physically. Under the guidance of experienced instructors like the club's sensei, Bastian ten Bergen, members grow to truly master the art. But it goes beyond just the physical aspects of the sport. It's the mental discipline, the self-confidence gained through judo that truly sets it apart. For Sensei ten Bergen, judo is more than just a sport. It's a transformative journey.
Some 30 years ago, when I was 11 years old, and back then I was bullied a lot. I was not very confident, and judo gave that to me. Judo gave me a confidence that I'm drawing strength from to this day.
So whether you're an expert or a beginner, the club welcomes all members with open arms. Megan Gagno, Oswego Now.
That was very sweet. And you know, March Madness is here. So if you've made your bracket, be sure to keep on top of it to see if you're going to win that big jackpot. But there's a couple of teams in New York. You have Colgate, you have Wagner. Definitely something that Oswego will be looking at and rooting for those New York teams.
Yeah, Joel, it's been really cool to see Wagner from Staten Island get their first ever tournament win. And of course, Colgate, unfortunately losing today to Baylor. But it was good to see them back in the tournament as well for multiple years running. But if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, the Ontario Centre for Performing Arts, also known as the Oswego Music Hall, may be the place for you. The Centre will have its first installment of its Women in Music series at 7:30. Shawnee Casper and Rachel Kilgore, two Canadian-born artists, will take the stage in a series meant to highlight and recognize female singer-songwriters. Tom Lambert, the Centre's artistic director, says he wanted to make a purposeful effort to bring in female artists.
So I've done a lot this year to try to bring in more women. In fact, this season, I think we'll have about 60% of our shows will feature at least one woman. But then I thought, that's probably not enough. I want to make it intentional and really bring awareness and consideration. So that's why I thought, well, let's start a Women in Music series. And what better time to start it than Women's History Month.
The Center is located at 41 Lake Street in Oswego. Doors will open at 7 o'clock. Tickets can be bought on their website or at the Rivers End Bookstore.
Before we sign off, let's take one last look at the weekend weather ahead with Oswego Now meteorologist Aurora Fitzgerald. Aurora?
Thanks, guys. So take a look outside right now. It's getting darker. The sun is setting. However, we can't really see anything. The snow is definitely getting heavier. We see some flurries outside. This is going to impact visibility, not by too much, but again, you guys have to be careful when you're driving. There's probably ice out there on the roads. If we look over here on the ground, it's not really sticking just yet. Most of these sidewalks probably have salt on them, but when you're walking out there, make sure to layer up your clothes. Make sure you have everything you need. Maybe some hand warmers too. It is uncomfortably cold outside, unfortunately, for this weekend, but make the most of it. The sun will be shining very soon, and hopefully the temperatures will feel like spring coming into next week. Back to you guys.
Pretty scary snow out there. I can't believe we're getting a couple inches all the way into spring now.
Yeah, I thought it was spring. It doesn't look like spring outside.
No, especially now with all the snowbanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.